Welcome back to this week's episode of Thoroughbred Declassified. My name is Nikki Morris. I'm joined with my amazing co-host, my father, Ryan Campbell, as well as my husband, Justin Morris. Now, we have a really exciting show in store for you guys, but first off, we like to start every episode with just a recap of what has been going on for the week. So let's kick it off to Boss Man himself. Dad, how has your week been?
The week's been extremely busy. We got 3 inches of snow, which kind of ruined everything. Not only did we get the 3 inches of snow, we got really cold weather too, and definitely wasn't prepared for that. And the day that we got the 3 inches of snow and the really cold weather was the scheduled day for the 4 stallions to get their feet done. Mm-hmm. So that's I would have rather it been at the end of this week when it had warmed back up, but we set them on an exact schedule of this many weeks. Boom, they get their feet done. So everybody's feet look good. That was a positive.
Who's the best to stand for the farrier of the boys?
Lentnor.
Of course, he's like the perfect child. He can do no wrong to you.
No, but he is. Tappert would be second.
Okay. Is Ice really the worst?
He's close. It depends on the day. There are times where he's near the top, and then there are times, yeah, and then there are times where he's so far in the basement that it's like 3 levels below the ground level. The neat thing that this farrier has is he brings a lick tub with him.
Yeah.
That's like molasses and all that kind of stuff. Well, that really helps Icebox.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it gives him something to focus on.
Oh, he slurps and makes all kind of noises trying to lick that lick. In due time, constantly just mesmerized, which we don't feed a molasses-based feed. So that's like really treat stuff to him. The funny one with that lick tub, Tappert hates it. He will not do anything with it.
His nose up. He's like, I'm not going to deal with cheap molasses.
Yeah, he grabs the plastic of the tub in between his teeth and then tries to toss it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he's a man of opinions, and we love that. Thanks. We love that.
And Lentnor, he's the same whether he has it or he doesn't, but if it's going to be available, I'm going to let Lentnor have a treat.
Just of course. It's Lentnor, of course.
Lentnor gets to do anything he wants.
Right.
He truly is kind of, I think a lot of people, he may be the lesser known stallion of the ones that we have, but he really is kind of king of the herd for us.
He's it. I mean, he is the number one dog. He's a stallion, but he's also a pet.
Yeah.
And that's, it's hard to really say that a stallion's a pet, but he's a pet.
Yeah, for sure.
He's the one that, retirement plans just makes me sick.
I know we've been having several discussions about that, and we'll probably talk about this in the Risen Storm update, but we do have 2 stallions who wouldn't say they're old, but, stallions do have a limited amount of time for their career.
Yeah, they'll be 19 next year.
So we are having to have some conversations, not within the next year, but, in the future.
And it's not like end of life type thing.
Oh, no. No.
It's like, I mean, to be honest with you, do they stay with us in retirement, or do they go to a place where
they can be an ambassador?
The public can enjoy them. Yeah. Not to mention which place that is, but I think everybody listening to the podcast knows where we're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, and those are conversations. Icebox and Lentnor both are going to get a resurgence this year in the breeding shed. Between splitting the broodmare band of ours and some other people's between them,
Mm-hmm.
just because they both row stakes caliber horses, and
Yeah.
to us, it's a matter of let's get them while we can when the other boys are young.
Well, I think it's a big thing that kind of works in our favor is both boys didn't have like a super extensive Kentucky career, so they
Right.
didn't breed a ton of mares, so they don't have the same wear and tear on their bodies that even a horse like Taprit, when he gets to be that age, it's going to be a little bit different for him because he bred so many mares compared to Icebox and Litnor. So it's very interesting to kind of get to this part of the stallion journey because it's something we haven't had for a while.
Yeah, and they were both young when we got them, or
Yeah, that's
younger.
the crazy part.
Yeah. So
I mean, Litnor, I think he's only spent, what, 3 years of his stallion career without us?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to even think about.
Yeah.
And then
Did you see the Northern Lights?
I did not see the Northern Lights. It was cloudy here.
I forgot about it. I guess it was perfect viewing here in Lexington. I completely spaced it.
Yeah. I seen a couple of photos. It did look wicked. It was, I think the closest one I seen was Danville, so we probably could have saw it, but we just kind of spaced it. It was a long night. We went to bed early.
Yep.
That's not abnormal for you guys.
No.
Nope.
You guys
If I am not in bed by 9 o'clock, the world is ending.
You're the opposite of me. I may possibly start thinking about bedtime at 1:30.
Yeah.
Which
I think it's because I grew up with you.
And I'm also starting to change my sleeping habits because of in January bowling season starts again.
Yep.
You're just using that as an excuse why you don't go to sleep.
Well,
don't let him fool you. He is on foaling season schedule the entire year. That is not a completely different schedule.
I think last night I got to bed at 3, but that was because I was doing presentations for this podcast.
Like I said, if I'm not in bed by 9, I'm cranky.
During the sales, I probably was up till 2 every night looking at what was going through the next day and rehashing the averages. So, I spent a lot of time watching the sales this year. Didn't get any. Tried, but didn't get anything. And I am extremely picky now on the brood. They have to come from certain female families. What's the look?
Oh, yeah, I'm really picky. What? I'm picky too.
Right, but that there can be 1,900 mares in the sale, and only 7 or 10 of them are from the female families that we have for years wanted to add. And
so we are picky. We are picky.
I think there was a few in there that didn't come from the female families we're looking for that you would have pushed for.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm really happy with our broodmares that we've got right now, and I'm more of the mind let's get rid of some if we want to get some more. So I'm not sure how many phone calls I'm gonna be like, hey, hear me out.
I mean, it's hard to say, but we do have a ranking order for all
not
of
even
our
hard to say. We do have a ranking order.
But when you buy a new one, it's to replace your lowest quality in the broodmare band,
or a hole in your program that you don't have yet.
Right. So we do have several Curlin Smart Strike line mares that we don't need to be that heavy on that line,
especially since we've got a stallion out of a Curlin mare. Right. It kind of limits. We got one mare. She is a Curlin sire line out of it's a successful appeal mare, right?
Right.
So then we've got a stallion out of a Curlin mare. That's in due time. Mm-hmm. And then we have a Tappet out of a successful appeal mare. Yeah, so this mare can't go to Either one of our stallions.
Either one of those two, but she can go to Icebox.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is probably where she's going this year.
Yeah.
But then there's the bad thing with me. Without even knowing it, I gravitate to the AP Indy line. So that, we have our mares that go heavily. They either have AP Indy in them or they go heavily to AP Indy line stallions.
Do you guys want to know what mares I've added to the program? Because I have a type, apparently. It's not AP Indy. I'm the one who chose a Medaglia d'Oro mare. And she's not Medaglia d'Oro. She's an Astern who is Medaglia d'Oro.
But what's she out of? Wait.
An Intermission mare.
Who is out of a?
I don't know who she's out of.
AP Indy mare.
The second game. It's not Sireline. It's not Sireline. Because I have her, and then I got a Giant's Causeway. I suggested the Cowboy Cow mare. What? Cowboy Cow is a Giant's Causeway as well, isn't he? Yep.
Yeah, he's giant. Yeah.
I have a type.
She gravitates. That mare gravitates to Candy Ride and AP Indy.
Yeah.
Obviously can't go to an in due time.
Nope.
Not this time.
Unless you want a really crooked baby. It may run fast, but you're not doing much with it.
And then, we have a daughter of one of our stallions who is a pulpit line stallion. So that eliminates two of the horses right off the bat.
Yep. Actually, three.
Three.
No, two. My bad. I see what you're talking about. Okay. You're good. Two.
And then we've got three Smart Strike line mares.
I would like to be down to one.
Yeah. And then shoot. I don't even know.
Who's Imperial Goddess by?
Good Samaritan.
So, and Into Mischief.
Yeah.
No, not Into Mischief. Freaking Indian. Yeah.
Out of a.
It's the same sire line.
Yeah, out of an elusive quality.
I was just laughing because the Into Mischief mare is who the Astern mare is out of.
So, I mean, we're going to be sitting down doing a lot of our who's breeding to who over the next month.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our first baby's due in early January, mid-January.
We've already gotten contracts, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I haven't executed those yet.
No rush.
We're going to do some talking about probably not using those.
Oh, nice.
I don't think you'll be disappointed.
I have a habit of learning things on this podcast as they happen in front of everyone to see, so it is what it is.
A son of one of the stallions you really want to get to.
I know who you were talking about, and I'm fine with it, but you just gotta know that you're not gonna get sales numbers on that.
No, but you'll get a racehorse.
We'll get a racehorse, but you're not gonna get sales numbers.
It's where I would pull it to be able to take advantage of the Breeders' Awards.
Yeah,
sure,
and to help her to show that she can produce a racehorse.
Yeah.
So one of the major stallion farms actually recommended not breeding her to another first-year stallion.
Oh, so they recommended breeding her to a first-year stallion this year, and then the next year. Yeah.
But it kind of makes a lot of sense. So we'll see. What else went on this week?
Nothing over here. I was going to try and go to the stallion shows and such, but my car died. I didn't realize that until we got back from everything.
Battery died, not the car.
My car had to go in. It was dead.
Yeah.
My car was dead. But yeah, we had to take my car in, and that was that. So I didn't get to go to any of the sales. I didn't get to go to any of the stallion shows. It was just kind of a dull week over here.
So there was one really cool thing that happened today because of this podcast. And that was, last week we were talking about Puka, and Puka being purchased by the Raging Torrent Syndicate, which is the syndication that owns the stallion, first year stallion Raging Torrent. And, we promote this podcast on other platforms as well. And, maybe an hour and a half before we started filming the podcast, the original owners, one of the family members of the original owners of Raging Torrent, during his racing career, they sold him, reached out and, said, hey, told us who they were and sent pictures of themselves with Raging Torrent when he was a racehorse. And, so that was kind of neat that, the podcast has actually reached somebody like that. And,
Yep.
They reached out to us.
And the horse world is incredibly small. Like, you don't think it is. You don't think the industry would be small. It is tiny. So it's crazy that we'd have that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So I'm also, during the sales on another platform, another person was doing a live streaming the sale online, and I joined the live and was typing back and forth, and I end up saying something to Nick before the podcast, and she's like, told me the person's name I was talking to, and I hadn't even told her who I was talking to. And I'm like,
because I saw she was live doing the sale, and she was the only girl that I saw going live. So I'm like, I know who that is. Yeah. So it's a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. 6 degrees of separation. Kevin Bacon.
And then I got tagged in a Facebook post about progeny of Icebox, one of our stallions, and it was, hunter jumper eventing people looking for, his sons and daughters, and that was kind of different for me. And I called Nick today, and I'm like, man, I didn't realize he was so popular in that discipline.
Yep,
that was kind of neat too.
And what I told him is, in hunter jumper, and especially, there's been a lot of conversation in the industry right now about declining full crops and, certain stallions dominating certain spaces. Tappet is all over the place. You cannot, it's like Tappet and Into Mischief, you can't get away from them. But Tappets have a really interesting personality for sport horse. They are like the crazy pulpits. So a lot of people are looking for alternatives to Tappets because of that kind of hard to work with personality. And that's where Icebox comes in, because a lot of his kiddos are really chill. They love having a job. And, as long as you give them attention, they're happy.
Yeah.
And they're extremely athletic, not just in the racing discipline, but also other disciplines. They're extremely athletic.
Yeah. So. And he throws a more uphill horse. That's one thing that it's so funny watching Oakley now. I think she's a perfect representation of what he throws. They're so uphill that I know he's got 4 mares right now that are in various warm blood registries. And a lot of the warm blood registries, you actually have to get your mare inspected, have confirmation checked, you have to jog them in hand. Sometimes they have to have an additional career if they aren't successful on the track. It's been very interesting to see. I mean, he's really well loved in the sport world.
Right. Which I didn't realize that.
Yep.
So. Well, we've got the update on Truth. We didn't talk about that. That really dominated the first part of my week, is the things that she had to go through the beginning of this week. Yep. And then we'll have Division 3 and Division 4 of the Stallion Showdown. And there was some controversy last week with Curlin.
I had a lot of people tell me I was right. I just didn't have a lot of people comment.
But we won. So no curling.
I got told my crash out was valid, so one person validated me. That's all I need in the world.
But I have a feeling there might be some of that again.
You think I'm gonna crash out again?
Yeah.
Oh, good thing Justin locked the clippers away because it may be for any moment.
I may crash out.
Oh, you're gonna crash. Oh, I cannot wait for this. That's my favorite thing to get you to do.
So, all right.
Cool. All right, well, let's get into our next segment. And now, for the moment you have all been waiting for, after a very tense week with the Thoroughbred Declassified Stallions Showdown rankings last week, we are back with another heavy-hitting episode. And we're going to see if the clippers are going to be brought out, if there's going to be any Brittany moments, and we unfortunately have to reveal that Curlin did not make it into the next round. Justified made it into the next round. So I'm probably going to be disappointed with this one too. Let's get into this week's round.
This week we're going to be going over Division 3, and as you can see, our winners from the 64 bracket was Bold Ruler, Galileo, Ribbit, Mr. Prospector, Stormcat, AP Indy, Candy Ride, and Northern Dancer. And I can see already when I was putting these brackets together, I made a huge mistake and put Mr. Prospector and Northern Dancer in the same bracket. I wish I had.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and kick it right off to our first two contestants. Bold Ruler versus Galileo.
Bold Ruler, the sire, Secretariat, Bold Reasoning, so many influential horses in the thoroughbred breeding, and probably the big reason why thoroughbreds are built the way they are now. Versus Galileo, who has sired Super Horse, Amazing, Frankel, as well as so many other legendary horses over in the UK. To me, this is so easy. Sorry, Galileo. I'm going with Bold Ruler.
I'm in 100% agreement. You know, there's really not a whole lot of color pictures of Bold Ruler out there. You know, and I must bring up that Bold Ruler actually passed away before Secretariat won his Triple Crown.
These are two Bold Ruler descendants right here in Briar Horse form. We've got Secretariat, and we've got Secretariat is by Bold Ruler, and we've got Seattle Slew, who is by Bold Reasoning, who also died young, very young.
And
Secretariat died young, and then Bold Reasoning did, but Seattle Slew lived a long time.
Bold Reasoning died really, really young, though.
As a matter
of fact, Bold Reasoning died before
Bold Ruler.
Bold Reasoning died before Seattle Slew won the Triple Crown. Now let me throw another one out there. Pioneer of the Nile died before. Hang on, it's getting better. Died before American Pharaoh won the Triple Crown, and Scat Daddy died before Justify won the Triple Crown.
I made this whole video about the superstition behind a lot of people think you want a sire to go through on the Triple Crown winner. Sure, you do. But if we're looking historically, you don't want that because it's worse.
At what point does that not just kind of become a fact?
It's actually kind of unnerving.
In the very superstitious world of horse racing, I don't want my horse to be the sire of a Triple Crown winner.
Yeah. Now, that's not saying, like, if a horse wins a Triple Crown, we're still going to claim it. But, like, it better not cost us our stallion, you know?
Right. Justin, I want to hear your opinion on who you pick, but, you know, maybe give a little insight on, with this color picture from Claiborne Farm on Bold Ruler. I mean, he anything that you thought he would look like? Since really the only reason the average person knows who Bold Ruler is because of Secretariat.
So it's an interesting perspective. I'm going to give you both, but I'll tell you my first reasoning is like I actually know Bold Ruler, and I actually have heard of that before. So like that was one of the ones that I knew. Now, like you said, I've not seen a picture. Beautiful horse. That's really cool to see a picture in that perspective.
Isn't he a hoss? Like, he's big.
He's a big old boy.
Look at the chest.
Yeah. And look, I think the thing I like about him, guys, I'm pointing at the screen, so I'm going to look weird here for a second. So his neck is a little lighter for me, but I love the angles of his shoulder and his hind end. You can see the point of his hip to his stifle is about equidistant from the point of his wither down to like right here.
Yeah.
He's just a very powerfully built horse.
And I think I'll be very transparent. The only Galileo know is the song where they go, Galileo, Galileo, let me go. I don't know much. So
Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yes. So there's your shout out, Queen. But with it, I'm gonna go with Bold Ruler because I think beautiful horse. I've known the horse, and it's to me it's pretty obvious. It's Bold Ruler. Plus, you two threw way better logic and arguments out there than I could on this one.
Galileo.
Let me go.
All right. We'll move on to the next one.
This one is
This one's also easy. Mr. Prospector.
I was going to say on 3, everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'm introducing them. Mr. Prospector, absolutely insane stallion. I do like. I like me and Mr. Prospector. I have an Giant Oak who's out of an exchange rate mare who I'm absolutely obsessed with. The one thing I don't love about Mr. Prospector is I do credit him for a lot of the unsoundness that we have today in the breed, which he also is credited for so many amazing stallions and mares that come from him. Versus Rebo, who was actually the exact opposite. He was really sound. He threw extremely durable runners. You see him more on the female family side, but I think you can't not give this to Mr. Prospector.
This has absolutely nothing to do with who's going to win, but I noticed white fences. Did he stand at
Rebo did not stand at Calumet. I don't think.
I mean, that is not very many farms. I mean, that's what Calumet's known for, is the white fences.
Let's see. We'll find out live in time.
Now, the one thing I will say...
RB Dan.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
So one thing that I will say is, obviously, you go back and you do the comparison between the picture of Bold Ruler, who is just a tank. I think a lot of people think that, because of that blockiness and almost quarter horsiness that is attributed to Mr. Prospector and Northern Dancer, he doesn't have any of that. He is actually more traditional.
I will say I do not like his legs at all in this. He is very, very, very straight in his legs. Upright. Like his front legs specifically. And I think he's got long cannon bones on the hind. Conformationally, I prefer Rebo, but like production-wise, like what are you actually going to have against Mr. Prospector where he'd win this? Nothing.
And it's not... I mean, you look at... I think a lot of people think Mr. Prospector, okay, speed. But in reality, his sire line is responsible for the most winners of the Belmont Stakes.
No, we're not talking about in reality.
He's somebody that probably should have made this list.
I'm shocked he didn't.
I only could pick 64.
Yep.
But I'm 100% going with Mr. Prospector. When you can't open a pedigree without seeing him most. I mean, probably he's probably in what
I mean,
70.
he's a problem now. He's in it too much.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
that's
how you know like he's succeeded.
and from a breeding standpoint, you're gonna try to not bring as much Mr. Prospector back into a horse that's already got 3 or 4 or 5,
Yeah.
instances. But from a standpoint of absolute breed shaper, Mr. Prospector, hands down.
1000%.
I agree with the both of you. It's Mr. Prospector. I could.
He also has the coolest nickname.
That it. I do think he's the favorite in this.
He's like the
bracket.
godfather. He's like Mr. P. Like he's the only one I'm pretty sure that we all exclusively call him Mr.
There's
P.
actually because later on I might disagree with you two on one, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, no, it's Mr. Prospector.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested on a disagreement because I know there's only 2 more in this.
Oh, I'm not going to win the disagreement. I'm just going to.
The last one I think is a hands down. But let's go to the next one. Stormcat versus AP Indy. So, for a recap, let's remember that last week Nick crashed out when Justified beat Keeneland. Is this going to be a repeat?
This will be a repeat. Okay, so who's going first?
So I'll go first. The man, the legend, AP Indy, Belmont Stakes winner, Breeders' Cup Classic winner. Definitely. I mean, you've got he's the sire of Pulpit, and to me, from a standpoint of where he carries on. That's the line that keeps Seattle Slew Bold Ruler alive. I think he hands down shapes the breed for the better compared to some of the negative things that the same breed shaping that Stormcat has done. I definitely say that AP Indy's actual progeny probably have better minds than Stormcat's actual progeny. Because you got to remember, back in the day when Stormcat's 2-year-olds were running, and you had the horse acting up behind the gate, and the commentators were like, "Oh, it's a Stormcat." Don't get me wrong, I love Stormcat. Just don't love him.
I will say
I don't love him enough to say that AP Indy's getting beat by him.
I'm not like giving too much away for what I'm saying, but I do think that AP Indy got a little bit of a Nepo baby boost by being a son of Seattle Slew versus Stormcat being a son of Stormboot. I feel like in the same way that personally, I think that Into Mischief, when he first started, probably had to scrap a lot more than other stallions did because he wasn't from like the most heir apparent stallion out there. And I think it was Stormboot was good. Stormbird was good. Don't get me wrong, but when Seattle Slew's your dad, a little bit different, you know.
Well, their maternal grandsire's the same.
Yep.
Stormcat's out of Terlingua, who is a daughter of Secretariat, and AP Indy is out of Weekend Surprise, who is a daughter's Secretariat. Which is really kind of neat. You had a Triple Crown winner being bred to a daughter of a Triple Crown winner. to create AP Indy.
Okay. I cannot believe I'm about to
I
do
will
this.
give you that.
Hang on.
Don't
give me anything because to my Lord and Savior Stormcat, I am so eternally sorry.
My positives for Stormcat is his sire line is being carried on through multiple branches.
Yeah. AP Indy
but
is really not.
AP Indy is heavily through the pulpit line.
And I think that's kind of where I'm at with it is like I do think without Tappet, the AP Indy probably would have been done as a sire line.
As a sire line. But
yeah,
I also think AP Indy is a better broodmare sire than Stormcat.
Not sure I would 100% agree with that. Okay, so I'm just gonna be real. I'm praying you give me strength for this. All right, so Stormcat was not by a super fashionable stallion, and he literally built himself up. Um, I do think that AP Indy probably had a much better support heading into the breeding shed because of his racing career as well as how he was bred. Um, but you brought up a good point that, because of Tappet, the AP Indy sire line still exists. And you brought up a good point that Stormcat still exists in multiple branches. I think they're on par for broodmare sires. I don't really think one is better than the other. I think they're pretty even. Um, but on this one, because there are multiple instances of his sire line still active, and it's not like one specific branch, there's three going on right now. Um, and I personally like. Here's the thing with Stormcats, and this is the thing that I will shade Tappet on. If you get a Tappet that has a certain personality, they're psycho or they don't want to work. And I think that's why we see.
I think that's more pulpit than it is Tappet, though. Assign the problem to the horse that the problem comes from.
I'm just saying. So when that is your dominant sire line, and that's your lasting sire line, I think it's really difficult to talk about mind with them because they do have a known mental problem. But Stormcat does too. The thing I like about Stormcats though is they can be psycho, but you don't lose the work ethic. They're
the Stormcats are very workmanlike.
They love working. So I think for me personally, I would go with Stormcat in this. He did stand for $500,000 as a stallion. He was the only horse since Northern Dancer that stood for $500,000 as a stud fee.
I think it's the only horse since Alydar.
Alydar was $500,000?
I think he was actually higher than that.
So what
remember, the vast majority of Alydar's seasons were.
Yeah.
But
I go with Stormcat on this
one. Let me throw one thing out before you make that. What about the deficiencies that Stormcat throws versus?
So if you go that, you have to go with the spinal issues.
That is
from the Seattle Sire line. And AP Indy is just as much in conversation about potentially passing PSSM2 as Stormcat is. I think personally that comes from the Secretariat female family. Or the Secretariat maternal influence.
Knees, ankles, those Stormcat traits.
AP Indy's not much different.
Oh.
Your Tappets, your pulpits, they're fragile.
But Stormcats had very, very northern dancery type issues.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that they're that much different. I think they have a lot of the same issues, and I do think a lot of their issues comes from the Secretariat broodmares. Personally, that I mean, because I've seen just as many screwed up AP Indies. AP Indy,
Well,
you've also got you've
probably
got
not.
also hang on, let me finish. So if you've got AP Indy, you have to pull in Malibu Moon. Malibu Moon was screwed up, like mentally and physically. And sorry, Spendthrift, I know he's your god, and he is a god. He is the top eventing thoroughbred sire right now. But we cannot ignore the fact that like both of these horses, they were a risk in terms of getting a sound horse.
Um,
I don't think they were as big of a risk as Unbridled Song, but both of them pretty much produce about the same amount of unsound versus sound horses.
the thing, you know, Malibu Moon. There's a whole lot of reasons why he didn't have very many sons stand at stallion, and that's because the only way you can get him to race is to castrate him, which is Dynaformer's issue as well. But I think some of the Stormcat positives that you're seeing is that you were so young when he retired, you don't remember the negatives.
Oh
That
no, I
was
remember the
Stormcat.
negatives of the Stormcats.
AP Indy stood a lot longer in your life. Um,
Hold
I
up,
mean,
are you really going to say that I don't remember Stormcat
no, I'm not saying you don't remember Stormcat.
or
I'm
the
saying
impact?
that I'm saying that the years away from him producing and it being his daughters and stuff and sons that were producing. I mean,
Because I
when we
think
saw
you're
him in
missing a
'07,
huge component about some of the knowledge base I have.
well,
I know it
I'm
more intimately through the sports side than you.
right.
So I've seen a lot of those failure horses that didn't go on to be big on the track. They were the more average everyday Stormcat. And that's why I said like no, like he did have some really screwy horses. He had some really like messed up on the front end horses, but the thing you cannot take from Stormcat that I think you can take away from AP Indy is he threw workman horses who oftentimes, even if they had poor conformation, they outworked their conformation. In AP Indy, to me, the horses are conformationally beautiful. They just they either show up or they don't.
I I don't agree with that. If there was another horse on the bottom, I would agree with you. But I don't. They don't have a thing out there. It's an AP Indy. It's it's a pulpit.
What is the only surviving sire line left of AP Indy?
It's
Pulpit.
for them, yeah. Unless there's something somewhere else that we don't know.
So when the only surviving sire line
AP
now, AP Indy,
AP
is
Indy
known.
AP Indy is, I would say, is probably more like
I'm gonna be real. This is comparing Stone Cold Steve Austin to Ric Flair.
mm,
You're not gonna agree with that, but that's what this is. I was gonna say Hogan, but I don't really want to add the implications of Hogan.
I will say I think AP Indy is actually going to. Yes, we bring in the sire line part, but I do think he has a bigger influence on the breed because of his daughters. Way more so than Stormcat.
Okay, so let's go there. So, notable progeny of daughters for AP Indy, or for Stormcat. Ashen Hikari, who is a Japanese horse. Bodemeister. Churchill, who is an active stud right now. Close Hatches. Dialed In. Folklore. Honor Code. In Lingerie. No Biz Like Showbiz. Raging Sea. Shared Belief. Sydney's Candy. Sky Mesa. Speightstown. Weep No More. Okay, so that's what we've got. I'm starting out with. If we go AP Indy, Any Given Saturday, Bluegrass Cat, Voltioro, I'll give you that. Cloud Computing, Global Campaign, Improbable, Nest, Plum Pretty, Royal Delta. So, I think they're even.
And
Personally, I think they're even.
And then go to Tappet, who's the magic ball.
If we're gonna do that, though, you gotta claim the issues from Tappet. You can't just say that. Oh, well, that's
no. I'm saying that he's affecting the female side of breeding.
Okay, but so did Giant's Causeway for Stormcat.
But not so much anymore.
So did Hennessy. If we're gonna go through that, hang on,
I would vote for Stormcat, but if you think one of you two can convince the other,
Bernstein, Cat Thief, Freud, Forestry, Harlan, Hennessy, Silken Cat, so Stormcat, or Speightstown, Storm Flag Flying, Tabasco Cat, Tail of the Cat. These are all potent broodmare sires. All of them.
So I am going to say one thing. He had nothing to do with Storm Flag Flying.
No, but that's teeny tiny.
She could have had anybody as a sire, and she would have been who she was. That's the mom.
So then you have to say the same for Rags to Riches.
Yeah. But I also have to say the same for...
You have to say the same for Flatter.
No, because they were both by AP Indy line. Congrats and Flatter are the same. They were full brothers.
I'm just saying.
But I have to
argument that you can make for AP Indy.
I have to say it for Mage and his brothers, Dornick, Baeza. You could breed
your little colt.
Yeah.
Freaky.
You could breed Puka to a billy goat and get a Kentucky.
I mean, I guess we're gonna see. I'm not calling Raging Torrent a billy goat. I think he's gonna have a real shot. But she's going to...
I'll tell you, I know this is rabbit, squirrel, but what that syndicate ownership has done by going out and buying great, outstanding quality mares to breed to a stallion that's coming in at $15,000.
Yeah.
They're setting his trajectory to greatness.
So you've heard some of the arguments. Where are you leaning right now?
Oh, I said I'm voting for Stormcat, but unless one of y'all, I'm not. That's just my literal vote. Unless one of y'all thinks you can sway the other, but I would go Stormcat. And that's honestly from the.
This is payback.
this is
Have
familiarity
you
from
not
YouTube.
seen all the horses we own and where they
Have
come from?
you? I'm waiting for your crash out. You said you were going to crash out. I'm waiting.
I feel like you all have mentioned Stormcat so much that it's just like a heavy influence, and that's, I mean, I'm just honestly, like, I know of AP Indy, but just hearing from both of you, I feel like it's very.
He knows pulpit more than AP Indy.
See,
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. The downstream from AP Indy is their own downstreams.
But he knows Into Mischief more than Stormcat.
Mm.
And that's a very far downstream.
He knows Justify more than Stormcat.
Mm-hmm.
He knows Not This Time more than Stormcat. Oh, wait, that's 3 different instances from 3 different sons of Stormcat. Crazy.
Oh.
I gave that to you a long time
I'm
ago.
just bringing that up again.
You're circling back.
We're circling around. What is it? And wrap around.
It would be interesting to know what AP Indy's percent of boys to girls in production was.
I don't know how you're going to find that out. You'd have to pull
I know. It would just be interesting to know because. And here is another thing that probably hurt both of them, but I think it hurt AP Indy more than it hurt Stormcat in the time at which both of them stood, more so towards the end of Stormcat's career and through a good portion of AP Indy's career.
Yeah.
Their sons, there was a point in time where things weren't like they are today, and I think AP Indy got hit more by it than Stormcat did. That the sons didn't get long-term chance. If they didn't throw the Grade 1 winner right off the bat, they were gone.
Yeah.
And that's what we face in this industry today. And I'll be absolutely honest. I went through the major stud farms in Kentucky 2 nights ago to try to find somebody that's proven runner, throws runners, this, that, and the other 4, that isn't an astronomical price like Gun Runner or Curlin or Justify or Into Mischief or Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the bulk of every stud farm in Lexington, any of the mid-range horses and below did not get a chance. They got shipped off, and the bulk of the stallions standing today are they don't have babies that have raced yet.
I think it's just because that commercial market really is right now king.
And I think it's ruining I think it's ruining the chances of stallions that could have made it.
Yeah.
Look, probably the stallion that probably deserves his way into Kentucky the most, that has never stood there, is Buchero.
Yeah.
Which is also a Stormcat line.
Bang. Yep. I think.
I do see that
Jesse doesn't get kicked out tonight.
I do see that the negative traits physically that Stormcat passed are far more than the negative traits that AP Indy passed. Flat out. And we can bring Giants Causeway into it, but Giants Causeway is a product of Rahi. That's why he was one of the first Stormcat sons to not even be considered a Stormcat son. Giant's Causeway is Giant's Causeway. That's because he's more Rahi, he's more Mariah Storm than Stormcat. And
They both are being investigated for the same genetic issues being passed.
I'm talking about problems.
I know. Well, I mean, AP Indy throws offset knees.
And Stormcat,
I'm saying that these
knees
two
and
are
legs that went every direction.
That, in terms of that, they are par for par with each other. I don't even know if that's a saying, but I'm gonna make it a saying.
Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say that Stormcat's progeny had career-ending injuries at a greater percentage than what AP Indy did.
I don't know if I'd make that statement. I really don't.
And I'm not talking his.
I know, but
babies of his sons or his grandsons or whatever.
I'm just not sure I'd go that far to say that. I mean, I do. The two horses are very similarly bred, obviously, on the bottom side. And I think the bottom side produced a lot of issues that people want to gloss over because it's Secretariat. But, like, I think the very issues that you're talking about, it's the bold ruler effect. They both have the same issues. They both do not throw the soundest horses. They both potentially pass PSSN2. They both have attitude issues. One is just in prettier packaging than the other. Like, that's why these two, they're just, it would be like comparing, it's not even like comparing, but like imagine if you had to put Into Mischief and Tappet against each other.
Oh,
I know who you're going with because of what you like, but in terms of like issues, they're on par. Once you get that level, like that's just how it is. So Justin already took my side, so I win. This is payback for Justify. So I'm glad to see it.
If in the comments we get 25 people that say AP Indy, we will change this.
Fair. That's fair.
Hmm.
And not one person commenting 25 times.
Yeah, Dad.
Same rules as before.
Yep.
All right. Easy for me, Northern Dancer.
Yep. Same here.
Yep.
Who's responsible for the problems that Stormcat passed?
Easy.
That both of them passed.
Nice, easy ending.
AP Indy does not have Northern Dancer in him.
Nice. Good for him.
He is Northern Dancer free. He's Mr. P free. It's his, and see that, I kind of think that may be the reason that AP Indy's sire line doesn't have more branches, because everybody and their brother bred Mr. Prospector mares to him.
You know what he isn't bred though?
Buck Passer.
No. He's
Bold Ruler.
inbred Bold Ruler, something Royal, Nazrula, Prince Quillo, Nazrula.
All for the same horse. But it's all through the same. It's all through the same horse. They're inbred Secretariat. All that other stuff follows behind it.
He's not inbred Secretariat.
But no, he's inbred Bold Ruler. My fault.
He's inbred Bold Ruler, something Royal, Nazrula, and Prince Quillo.
Damn.
How's he inbred? Does he have Sir Ivor or Sir Ivor or Sir Gaylord?
The third dam, the Buck Passer mare, is out of a Sir Gaylord mare.
Right. which is Secretary Taft's brother.
Yeah. Northern Edge.
So everybody in agreement? There's no argument with Northern answer. You don't even have to describe it.
Nope. Easy.
All right. No one had a Brittany moment. I am so disappointed.
I'm just a lot more calm.
And now for our next segment, the Risen Storm update. This week we are featuring our 2-year-old filly Truth from Adair, who just underwent some surgery over the week. And just dive right into it, Dad. Tell us what happened with Truth. We had talked a little bit at the previous episode what her injury was. So this is more just the rehab and kind of what's next for her.
Yeah. I know we've had some questions of exactly what the issue was. I don't know that I'll go really deep into the issue, but I am going to bring up one of her x-rays. It's not the ones that the surgeon did, but she had in her right leg, she had bone fragments in the upper in the lower joint in between, between the bone and the cartilage. They ended up removing those fragments, and the prognosis from the surgeon was that from a bone standpoint, everything is good. She doesn't have any suspected any reason why she would have reoccurring injuries from anything that was done. He was extremely pleased with the amount of damage to the cartilage in the knee was way less than what he thought it was going to be. And looking down the road, what we're really going to have to keep an eye on with Truth is really the management of the arthritis. And on these x-rays, the things that I can point out is this little area right here, which is also this little area right here. That is an onset of arthritis, which they said bare minimum the injury had to be at least 60 days old for the onset of arthritis. But she did have surgery on Wednesday. She came through the surgery great. She came home Wednesday night. They took a small chip out of the left knee, took the corrective action for the right knee. She has to be on complete stall rest for 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, they come out, they remove the bandages, remove the stitches. From that point on, she has to stay in the stall, but she can be hand walked for another 2 to 3 weeks every day. And then after that, she's going to get an injection in her knee that is to help control the arthritis that has started. That injection will make it to where she can't have an official published work, which also means she can't have a start for 6 months after the day of that injection due to racing rules. But it does look like 3 to 4 months after that injection, she'll be back in training. So,
and you did say that it was confirmed to be a bone remodeling injury, correct?
That's
and
what they're thinking. There was some bone on the knee that was soft, and they thought that it would be best to remove that softer bone because it would continue to flake off. So, that is one thing they took, a section of softer bone off, but it doesn't affect her career in any way, shape, or form. I mean, to be honest with you, I would think, we really thought she was going well, these last 60 days, but with the placement of those bone fragments in between the bone and the cartilage in the knee, she had to have been hurting. So really the thought is without those in there, she should actually be better. than what she was training before.
Yep.
So there will be several.
I think it's important to note she didn't show signs of lameness at all. She didn't really have heat in her knees. Like what is a tough cookie?
Right, and even though there's toughness, pain will affect works.
Yeah.
So leaving, she goes back to work. There will be several X-rays before she's even cleared to actually go back into training. There'll be X-rays before she gets to be turned out into a small paddock. Before she goes back in training, we'll probably X-ray the ankles too.
Okay.
And she will be a horse that she gets more routine X-rays just so we can keep an eye on this arthritis throughout the rest of her career.
And she's been the model patient for her rehab team, from what I've heard.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that the surgeon says, it's going to be the management of the arthritis.
Yeah.
That will impact. If we can manage it, the longer her career will go.
Yep.
The less we can manage it, the shorter it's going to be.
And she'll tell us. I mean, she's a strong filly, but she is also very opinionated. And the thing that Jeff really liked about her was her mind. And a lot of it comes from a horse having a good mind is they're smart. They know how to protect themselves. So it'll be interesting to see how she comes back from this. There have been plenty of horses who've come back with injuries like this that have been completely fine. So, it's just kind of a waiting game. We kind of went through something similar, but not really to this extent. Truth's cousin Roe had a very, 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 let me finish, very, 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 very tiny knee chip to where it was hardly anything, didn't require surgery, and he's now completely sound. He is, jumping, doing all the fun stuff. So, this isn't something that's going to limit her career. It's just all going to be on management.
Yep. Yeah, her left leg was more like Roe's issue. Yeah. But while she was already out,
might as well
take it out.
Yeah.
That way, because what you're looking for with those really small trips is that they don't displace, they don't float around in there. So she was already out. We might as well just eliminate the chance of it floating around and not settling in the right spot. So that was taken out. Now.
Yep.
So, but she is doing good. She's the one thing that even the trainer said was she was smart, and she's being really smart in her recovery. Hope she remains being smart through her rehab, because the one thing that we do know about Truth is she loved to work, and she's not going to be able to do that for
a little bit,
a while.
Yeah.
So, but it's all good news at this point. We're not coming back with a prognosis of she's in danger or her career's over or anything like that. We just have to wait a little bit longer.
And I won the bet.
Yeah, you did win the bet in a really bad way, because if she hadn't been hurt, you weren't winning the bet. She would have been starting next month. So
I'm gonna give Jeff shit when I see him tomorrow about that. So,
but that is the update on Truth. Let me just leave this picture here.
Look at that pretty girl. Look at her stretching out.
Yep. So it is going to be nice for all those things to be taken out, and there's the anything that they were doing to cause pain or damage to the cartilage while she was in training, or actually it didn't even matter if she was in training. If she was just out in a field, it still would have been doing that kind of damage. It's good that that's gone, and now we'll see what she does without any pain or damage being caused when she gets back to the track.
And then next week, we'll likely be covering other horses as part of our Risen Storm update. She's had a lot going on, so clearly we're going to be talking about her a lot. But we are going to be moving into some breeding conversations, as well as our stallions are going to be preparing to kick off being inspected by breeders and breeding season in general. So I think these next few Risen Storm updates are going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, they'll be fun. We'll be able to talk about each one of the stallions and,
Yep.
probably each one of the mares at some point.
For sure. So. All right.
Well, that wraps up the Risen Storm update, and that wraps up this episode of Thoroughbreds Declassified.
We haven't thrown it in there yet, but like, subscribe, comment. I have a personal goal. Highest viewed video as of recording this was 540. Let's see if we can beat that. If we get to 541, we'll get I'll make Ryan add in confetti at the end somewhere. I'm sure you can put that in here. He's got a soundboard. We'll add like effects to it. Let's try to get to 541.
Yeah, I mean, the more views, the more likes, the more the algorithm takes it to other people.
And my Stormcat defenders, make sure you load that comment section with the fact that I was totally right with going with Stormcat. Don't even talk to him about AP Indy.
And we were totally right with Justify.
He may
so
be out.
I know I'll see a lot of AP Indy comments in the comments section.
Well, we'll see.
Well, that is it for this week. Hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you next week for another day in the life of the thoroughbred industry.
Thanks for hanging with us, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.